I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person. But cycling, has made me a morning person in 2020. And when I went out to cycle, I was 1 minute I was on my bike, the next minute I was on top of the bonnet of the car, which landed me in hospital, where this was along the Lekki Expressway. I was hit by learners. Psychology people can love you. It's a community. You feel a sense of love. You feel a sense of camaraderie. When I go to speak in places and then I suddenly say that, okay, I have a son who's 21, my daughter is 20, they just look at me like, who am I talking about? Typically, for the longest time, I would tell people that my name is Temitope George, and outside cycling, I'm a lawyer and more recently the MDC of Lagos State Electricity Regulatory Commission. I joined Cycology in 2013. My colleague was like, look, you better join this club, you that you like to be fit and everything, that there's women who are in their 40s who are cycling. That time I was in my 30s, so I felt, okay. Yeah, I'd like to do something that will be sustainable and will help to keep the weight off. And hence why I started cycling with Cycology. So I would say my proudest moments leading Cycology rides, twofold. One would be the Amazon rides, the very first Amazon ride we had where we just had like a community of women. I would look back and I would just see like a whole row of just women. And I would also say another proud moment for me leading Cycology would be the Share the Road rides. I would say those are two of my proudest moments leading Cycology. For me, my very first serious road accident, and that was in 2020. And when I went out to cycle, I was 1 minute I was on my bike, the next minute I was on top of the bonnet of a car. Which landed me in hospital, where this was along the Lekki Expressway. I was hit by learners. That was my bad experience as a cyclist. 2 years later, I also fractured my collarbone while I was riding in a group. That was in 2021. But, as they say, right? If you fall off a horse, you get back on. So if you fall off a bike, you get back on the bike. And I'm so glad that I got back on the bike and I've been riding since. And I haven't had any accidents since then. I would say for me, cycling has made me more resilient. I'm typically a very independent cyclist. I used to be that cyclist. I would just go out on the road, ride free, ride happy on my own. Because of the way the accidents we've had as a club in the past, we don't do that anymore. We ride with SAG. But I honestly feel that if I'm going through anything in life, I can overcome it. I can endure it. Because during cycling, like my longest race, hardest race, my longest distance has been over 210 kilometers. And I remember my first experience at Cape Town, I just felt, oh my God, what is going on? I burst into tears at some point. But at the end of that race, I felt such a huge sense of accomplishment. And with cycling, I'm like, look, if I can climb that mountain, there's nothing, no pressure, nothing, no obstacle that comes my way that I cannot overcome. When I joined Cycology, I remember myself and Flo there used to say, psychology people can love you. As in, it's what started as a group of like maybe 7 to 20 to 30 to 40 and now well over 100 people. It's a community. You feel a sense of love. You feel a sense of camaraderie. A lot of my closest friends are Cycology members. I have other friends now who say, your Cycology, Cycology is your family. I'm like, well, we've endured some of the hardest rides together. So it's a family. The bonds we share they're deep and you can't explain it. I know that if something happens to me, Cycology people will show up. So I would say that, that's what makes Cycology unique. They're loving people. We almost love each other incestuously. oh, why should more women embrace cycling? It's an amazing conversation starter. When I go to meetings and I tell people I'm a cyclist, the conversation just goes on. It opens into, what? You did 100 kilometers? What? You did this? You ride on 3rd Mainland Bridge? For me, I would say it's the secret of my youthful appearance. When I go to speak in places and then I suddenly say that, okay, I have a son who's 21, my daughter is 20, they just look at me like, who am I talking about? And I attribute it to my lifestyle, my cycling lifestyle, and my cycling community, to be honest. So some people say sometimes that we're a bit cliquish, but give it time. Keep showing up. Look, if you show up for the ride and you keep showing up, you will find your friends you'll find your community within the community. So I'd say join Cycology and keep showing up. What does the bicycle fix to me? So I would say that typically for the longest time, I would tell people that I am a night person. I'm not a morning person. But cycling has made me a morning person. Because you have to wake up at 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock. Even the days I don't cycle, I wake up early. So cycling has fixed my being a night person and turned me into an early morning person. Cycology, never give up.
Cycology, never give up.